Homework section for chapter 9.4e, choose your method, level 1, question number 1. So you can choose any method, factoring, square roots, completing the square, or quadratic formula. Since it's this one, you have the x terms already isolated and the constant is on the other side. I'm going to use is the completing the square. And for completing the square, I'm going to do is b over 2. So b over 2 square, and that's going to be 14 over 2 square, 7 square, that is 49. You're going to add 49 on both sides. So my original equation, and you're going to add 49 on both sides. One side you got here is x plus 7 square equals 49 minus 8 is 41. And here it comes the square root, because we cannot remove the square without taking a square root on both sides. Taking square root on both sides, you get x plus 7 equals plus or minus 41 square root, negative 7 on both sides. So x equals negative 7 plus or minus 41 square root, and that's going to be your answer. For number 2, my choice is factoring using a cross method, where I have on the top is the last term, that is 9. On the bottom is negative 10. You're looking for two numbers. When you multiply, you get 9, and when you add is negative 10. So that's negative 9 and negative 1. You put them equal to 0, 1 by 1. You get x equals 9 and x equals 1 as your answer. For number 3, I'm going to use a square root method. So for square root method, you're going to isolate the square. So isolate the square term. So negative 4x squared plus 144 equals 0. Subtract 144. Negative 4x squared equals 144. It's negative 144. Divide with negative 4 on both sides. You get x squared equals. So x squared equals 36. Now we're going to, of course, solve for x and then get the x square root on both sides. Square and square root cancel. X equals plus or minus 6. For number 4, it's going to be easier if I follow the factoring using cross method. And for number 5 is a square root method. For number 6, when there is a number that is in the front and it's really big, I would try and solve it through the quadratic formula. For number 4, you're going to use the cross method. On the top, negative 12, on the bottom is 11. The two numbers, when you multiply to get negative 12, when you add to get 11, are 12 and negative 1. Put them into a factor form first and then put them equal to 0. 1 by 1, you get x equals negative 12 and x equals 1. For the next one, where you're going to do the square root method, you're going to add 5 on both sides. You get 9x squared equals 9. Divide with 9. X squared equals 1. Take square root on both sides. You got x equals plus or minus square root 1, but square root 1 is just 1. So x equals plus or minus 1. For number 6, you're going to list the a, b, and c from the equation. Use a quadratic formula, negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4 times a times c. So you got here 1 square plus 20, that's going to be 21. So 1 plus or minus square root 21 over 10. Two answers. That are your two answers for number 6. Level 3, question number 7. We are going to do it with the cross method. For number 10, I'm going to use the solve by square root. Add 2 on both sides, you got 16. Divide with negative 8, you got x squared equals negative 2, which means that x squared cannot be negative. It means when you take a square root on both sides, you're going to get a square root with the negative term inside, which means no solution. Negative 9 on both sides, I got the x term by itself and the constant here. I'm going to apply the completing the square. So you're going to get the b over 2 square, that is 9, add on both sides. You got here is x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 7 plus 9. X plus 3 square equals 16. Take square root on both sides. You got x plus 3 equals 4. And one time you take plus 4, one time you take negative 4. You got answer x equals 1 and x equals negative 7.